Hello, 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 hello. So I am back once again on another topic that I want to touch on. And I'm going to speak on men that got left after years of marriage, a long relationship, and the women left. So, um, I've been seeing a lot of men online, in person, and they can be in their mid ages, like 40s, 50s, even 60s, who say, yeah, I'm newly divorced. My wife left after 20 years of marriage or 30 years of marriage. And they act shocked, they act surprised, they're upset. A lot of them are bitter because they went through a divorce after so many years of getting married. And it's kind of like, whoa, like, women, I guess all women are like this. I give up. I'm old now. A lot of men are giving up on love. They don't want to get married anymore. They're done. They're just kind of like, thinking all women are going to be like their wife, right? And so, it was just kind of astonishing, some things that I heard the men say, um, thinking most women are like their wife that they picked, or, most women have the same brain that their wife had. And, they're giving up on love. They act like, they're old and they just think, what's the point now? And that also really makes it harder as far as the dating world too. So they kind of, one of the reasons why, it's hard for middle-aged women to date, because they run into a lot of bitter older men who have been destroyed, who have been hurt by their ex-wife. And as a woman, I'm speaking, I get it. I get it. I understand why the men are upset or why they're hurt. And I actually feel bad sometimes for men, because as a woman, after a divorce or even a breakup, after a long relationship, no matter who fault it was, the women has people to go to for comfort, right? Women, we have our parents to run to cry to. We have family, we have siblings that we can kind of vent to and let our emotions out and cry and, you know, go out, share with someone, maybe our closest friends, and we can spill our feelings out and just kind of help heal through talking about it with our close people. Um, Even groups, there are, after breakup groups that women can join, and they confide in each other and help each other heal. So women have a lot of support that they feel comfortable going to after a breakup. Whereas men, on the other hand, men do not have that same support as women. There are more supports now that men are speaking out about how they're feeling. There are more supports now, but I think still, men still don't have that safety zone to just open up their feelings to someone. Men don't really have a lot of people to go to after a breakup, to confide in and to share their feelings without getting judged, so men do not have that much support as a woman do. And that's terrible, because men hurt too, after divorce, breakup, even if it was the man's fault, let's say even if the man did cheat, or if the man was a terrible husband, he still hurts after a breakup. Men still have feelings too. They still hurt that they can't see the kids that much no more. They're still hurt that their whole life is about to change too. Their whole schedule is about to change as well. And they have to get used to that sometimes overnight, right? Because sometimes they may get kicked out the home, or the wife ends up just leaving out of nowhere. They come home and the whole family is gone. So you got to think about it. Men get put through a lot emotionally after a breakup, but they just don't have that many people to run to like women do. Okay, so yes, men go through a lot too. And so I get it as far as why men are hurt, why they feel like they can't, it's going to be hard to trust another woman. A lot of them gave up on marriage again. They don't want to get married anymore. They don't trust women anymore. So I understand why they would have negative feelings after a breakup. However, it's important for them to get the help they need. Go to therapy. Get the therapy you need. Forget about dating for a while. Go to therapy. You may find out that you're fine being single, and that's okay. But the important thing is to get that therapy, heal yourself, so that way you won't be so negative minded or bitter towards all women. Because a lot of times that is what happens, and that comes off. Believe it or not, women can sense that on a man as soon as you start speaking. When women can sense that, like, oh, okay, he's still upset, I can tell, or oh yeah, he still needs a lot to be working on. Because when you feel a certain negative way towards women, it comes out. It comes out at your workplace. It's gonna come out as far as you're not having no more chivalry. You're not opening doors for women no more. You're not even being nice to women no more. And it shows. And you bring negative energy. And you don't really want to do that. You don't want to bring negative energy around women just because of a bad breakup, a bad divorce. So you want to get that healed. You want to go to therapy for that. And like I said, I get it. Women leave. Not all breakups and divorces are justified. There are women leaving men over petty things, over small things. It's not always cheating or abuse, which really, if it's not cheating and if it's not abuse, it can be worked out, in my opinion. 9 times out of 10, it can be worked out, especially if you're Christian. If you say you're Christian, you believe in God, just because a man is getting on your nerves should not be grounds for divorce. Just because your husband may be boring is not grounds for divorce. So a lot of women are leaving over petty things. And I think it's important for men to try to pick right. When you get married, you try to pick right. You pick the person that is going to stick with you in the long run. And I know the first time around, it's very normal, believe it or not, to pick the wrong person at first. Because think about it. We're like in what? You're usually in your 20s, early 20s maybe, when you first got married. You're not going to pick right because you may be just looking at looks, or you're just looking at how she make you feel at the time. And sometimes it may be your first love, maybe. And so you're picking a wife based off those things instead of the long-term things. So, yeah, so it's perfectly normal. And, in your 20s, that's why it's very hard to keep a relationship together because you both are pretty young adults. You're young minded, you're young emotionally, and it takes a village, to keep you guys together during your 20s and early 30s because you're still discovering yourself. You still don't know yourself that well. So you both are growing together. And so it's very hard. But so as a guideline, there are a few things, a few red flags men can look for in women to determine, will she stay? Is she fit for the long haul? Now understand, there is absolutely not 100% way that you can 100% know for sure that, okay, this person is going to be with me to death do you part. There's no 100% way. Only God knows if that person is going to stay. But there are red flags or things you can look for to help you determine, okay, this person will stick by my side, you know. And I'm not talking about cheating either. If now cheating or abuse, no, I don't think anyone should stick around through that. But other than that, you want to know, as a man, will this woman be by my side when I'm having a bad day? Or I may be having a bad year. I may be grieving. I may be going through stress in my job. Or I may just be going through personal things. Will this woman stick beside me even though I'm not fulfilling her needs right now? Because it's going to happen. Let's face it. In relationships, you're not always going to be on good terms, right? So if you have a woman that can't handle a few months of neglect, just a few months of neglect, or a few months of you may not be fully paying attention to her because right now something has happened, then you deserve to know, like, whoa, if you're not in it for the long haul, then no. Then marriage should not be on the table. And there are a few red flags that you can look for that can help you determine that. Okay, so one of them would definitely be if your lady gets bored easily. You have to pay attention. Fellas, you have to pay attention. Don't just look at, oh, she makes me feel like this, or she have a beautiful smile, or she's pretty. Pay attention. How does she handle boredom? You have to pay attention to that. And it's not hard to tell. You can tell. Can this woman go a week just chilling at home, being in the house, just watching TV or not doing too much? How does she feel about that? How does she feel about you guys just chilling at home for a week, watching TV, maybe cooking at home, but not doing too much, not going out for a while? How does she handle that? Is she the type that just has to always be at the house? Oh, I'm bored. Let's go somewhere. Let's go somewhere. Let's go somewhere. Let's go somewhere. Like, how does she handle just not doing anything? Can she handle being bored, or does she go crazy when she bored? That's very important. And the reason why is because if you're with a woman who can't handle a little boredom, then that definitely is a red flag that in the future, like let's say if your money gets tight, or let's say something happened and you guys can't go out for a while, that lets you know right there, she's not going to be happy. She's not going to be happy. She gets bored easily. So as soon as you guys stay in the house, for maybe a few weeks, she's going to go crazy. She's going to be like, oh man, I'm so bored and blah, blah, blah. And guess what? She's going to be unhappy. And then usually women that do that, from what I've seen, yeah, they're prone to cheating and they're prone to leaving, all because they're bored with you. So that's very important, fellas. So pay attention and test. It's okay to test. You need to start testing these women that you're into, that you are in a relationship with. Start testing them and watching and seeing. Just out the blue, just say, hey, this week, I know we've been going out a lot lately. Hey, for the next 2 weeks, let's just chill at home. Let's chill at home, watch some TV, and see if she can handle that. See if she can handle a little boredom without y'all spending money. How does she react? Very important. You need a lady that can handle being bored. She does not have to always go out to have fun with you. Y'all do not always have to spend money for her to be happy. Very important. Very important. So also another red flag, fellas, for the men, is, have this lady even seen a lasting marriage before? Has she grown up in an environment where people was married in her family? You need to look at that and question that. What kind of family dynamics did she grow up in? Did she grow up around all single women? No one ever got married. All the women was just independent and partied. Or did she grow up around seeing her auntie got married, her mom married, her sisters are married? Did she grow up around marriage? And not bad marriages, but have she witnessed a lasting marriage? Even if it could even be her long-term pastor. But that's very important for women to at least experience seeing and witnessing a lasting marriage, because they will know what it looks like. They will know a woman that has seen a married couple stay together. She knows the reality of marriage. She knows it's not always peaches and cream. She will know automatically that every day is not going to be sunshine. So whenever you have a bad day, she's not going to go crazy. She's not going to think negative about you. She's not going to think about leaving you just because you're having a bad day or a bad month. But if you have a woman who's never been around a good marriage, a lasting marriage, then she may have a fantasy idea of how a marriage should go. So in her head, she may be thinking, oh, well, we're not supposed to fight all the time, and you're not supposed to neglect me ever for the rest of my life. You're supposed to cater to me all the time for the rest of my life. You're supposed to always buy me stuff on my birthday, every anniversary, every Christmas, every Valentine's. She'll have this fantasy, unrealistic idea of how a marriage is going to work. And that's just not reality. And so, yes, she's going to leave, because if a woman have a fake reality of what marriage looks like, as soon as the going gets tough, as soon as she sees that it's not a fairy tale, she's going to be out the dang door. She's going to be out the door. So that's very important, fellas. You need to ask questions. These are important questions to ask. Stop asking what's your favorite color. That's not going to help you. You need to ask, what lasting marriages have you seen growing up? Who do you know have a lasting marriage? What is your idea of what a marriage should look like? You need to know. Is this woman realistic in marriage, or does she have a fantasy in her head about how marriage should look like? You need to know. So also another flag is no accountability. If your woman seems like she's always right, and yeah, there are some women who mostly do be right, but the times that they mess up, if they can't never admit that they're wrong, like if your woman mess up or she does something wrong to you, she act like she can't apologize. She act like she's too proud just to say, I'm sorry, baby. Or I'm sorry I did that to you. I was wrong. If she can't ever apologize to you, she can't never say when she's wrong, admit when she's wrong, that's the issue. Because in her eyes, she thinks she's better than you. She can't take accountability. So everything going to be your fault. And then one day she's going to leave because everything is your fault, right? Very important. So check that out. Pay attention. Whenever your woman makes a mistake or whenever she says something wrong about you, does she apologize? Does she take her pride down and say, I'm sorry? Very important. Very important. Okay, so also another red flag, of course, and this should be obvious, if your woman is secretive. That's kind of an obvious one. But a lot of times men overlook that and they end up saying, I'm telling you, a lot of men have said, well, after our divorce, I found out this about her, or I'm still finding out things about her because she was secretive. So you need to see, how is she moving? Now, private is different from secretive. Secretive is she withholding a lot of information from you. Okay? So you need to look at that. And that's more in the relationship, not in the dating stage. But once you guys are in a relationship, she should be sharing things to you. She can share a few of her secrets or things about her family that she's ashamed of, or just sharing things with you. Letting you know, you should know kind of your woman's routine. You should know. Pay attention, fellas. Pay attention. You should kind of, in a way, know your routine of your woman. Not saying you have to know everything she do, but at least most of what she does every day, you should be knowing. If she gets up, grab an oatmeal, go to the gym, come home, shower, and then she goes to work. And then after work, she usually goes to the grocery store. After that, you should kind of know that. You should know her routine. Okay? Don't let your woman, I don't know her routine at all, and she can just be doing anything. Because honestly, an honest woman is you're going to automatically kind of know her routine. Because when you say, what you did today, or how was your day? She's going to explain, yeah, I had a good workout at the gym, and then I did this at work, and, so you should kind of know your woman's routine. That's very important because that matters in secretiveness. Your woman should not be too secretive where you don't really know her routine. You don't even know her family dynamics. Like, who is she close to? What best friends do she have? You should know some things about her. Close things. Not just her favorite color and her favorite food. That doesn't matter. You need to know, who is she close to? Who does she share secrets with? What are some of her secrets? How was her childhood? She should not be too secretive because that's definitely an open door and an easy way out the door. If she's secretive, she can easily have a double life that you don't know about because you don't know nothing about her. You don't know her routine or anything. And she can have a secretive life in the future. And then all of a sudden, you're so surprised that she cheated. Well, hell, look how easy it was to cheat. You don't know nothing what she does every day. She could be doing anything you don't know. So it's important, fellas, that, if she's secretive, that's a red flag. Red flag. And then also, one of the last ones is, of course, if she lies, of course, that's a big one too. It seems common sense, but a lot of you guys kind of overlook that. A woman can lie, you guys overlook it. Even if she's lying about her mood about you, she can be very upset at you. But if she's saying, oh yeah, everything's okay, that's a lie. And that's not good. Don't overlook that. It's very important for a woman to admit how is she feeling about it. If she's pissed off, she needs to say, I'm mad right now. I'm mad at you. She should not smile and say, I'm okay, and she's really mad at you. That's not good. Because that means she can fake that whole relationship. Wait till you give her that ring. Fake in the marriage. And then after some time, she's smiling and walking right out the door. And you're thinking everything's okay. But then for the men that says, oh, everything was just fine. And one day, she just left. Well, that tells you right there that the lady been lying to you this y'all whole relationship. She's been lying and faking how she really feel. And that's scary. That's scary to go that long faking something. That takes a lot of energy. If I'm upset with you, if I'm unhappy with you, but I'm smiling ear to ear, pretending like everything's okay, that is deceptive as hell. And that is not good at all. Do not overlook that at all. As soon as that lady lies, you need to let it go. As soon as she lies, if you know she's pissed off and she sits there and say, oh, everything's fine, and smile about it, let that crap go. Because she's a liar and a faker and very deceptive. And that's going to cost you in the long run. So those are a few red flags that is very important. It don't sound too important. It may not seem like a big deal, but trust me, coming from a woman, it's a big deal. These red flags, because these are subtle red flags that people overlook all the time. Men overlook it all the time. You don't pay attention enough to the woman that you're with. You're not paying attention to how secretive she is, if she's lying, if she don't even have family dynamics, if she gets bored easily. You don't pay attention to that. Y'all are too busy talking about what's your favorite food, what's your favorite drink, that you're not paying attention to these actual red flags. And then you get surprised 20 years later when she walks out that door. You get so shocked when she walks out the door, but you overlook these red flags all the time. So that's why I say you can't put it on all women, because a lot of women are not like this. You can't put it, but for somehow, and this is part of healing, when you go to therapy and you find out why you was even attracted to that type of woman in the first place, because that's not all women. But it's important that if you're still attracted to that type of woman, like your ex-wife, then yeah, you need to change who you're attracted to. And I guarantee you, just like a lot of men, that I've personally seen in my life, almost every man, there was at one point or two, there was a woman who really cared about him, really liked him, but for some reason the men didn't like them. Why? I don't know. They were attractive. They were not ugly or out of shape, nothing like that. But for some reason, men, you don't like the woman that likes you. The woman that likes you will stick around, I guarantee you. She really likes you. But you overlooked her and you chose that ex-wife of yours. And so when you go to therapy, it's important for you to find out why. Why did you choose your ex-wife? Why? What attracted you to her? What made you fall in love with her, even though she's a liar, she's a cheater, she had no family dynamics, she got bored easily? Why were you attracted to her so bad that you had to marry her? And that's what therapy is about. Find out why. And then once you change who you're attracted to, then if you want to get married again, yes, there's a chance. You're not old. You're not old yet. You're not dead. There is a chance to find love again. And you'll be an even better husband this time. And you'll have a better wife this time. Because you put in the work in therapy and you put in that work to heal. So it's very important for men to know that no, it's not all women. It's not even most women. But it's the women you're attracted to.